Francesco, and I started to introduce the American Revolution. At the first, about the American Revolution, we have spoken and we have studied very well that in the 1760 the American colonies were rich and were populated by educated religious and economic refugees and economic migrants. And some question?
Hi, my name is Paola Columbaria. I'd like to introduce a question. What was the situation in Britain when George III came to the throne?
Hi Paola, nice to meet you. Well, and at the first, in the 1760, when George III come to the throne, the Britain have the control of all sea and was enjoying and coming a period of stability, internal stability and economic expansion.
Hi, I'm Andrea. Well, what caused the conflict between the American colonies and Britain?
The British government wanted the American colonies to help pay for their defense and imposed a new taxation. These taxes were the catalyst for the rebellion. One such, the tax was on importment of the tea. At the Boston Tea Party in 1773, the rebels dressed natives Americans threw the heated tea from Britain into the Boston Harbor. The rebels maintained that the taxes were unjust, as colonies had no political power. They say no taxation without representation.
Hi, my name is Massimiliano Becchetti. I'd like to introduce a question. Did any people in England support the American cause?
In England, Edmund Burke recognized the justice of the American cause, and Thomas Penn's common sense in 1776 stimulated the desire for a republic. And we can see that the new state is a republic in a world of monarchy.
Any question?
Yes, my name is Giovanni, and I have a question for you. What was the difference between the patriots and the loyalists?
The Americans were divided into patriots and loyalists when the war began in 1775. The patriots had no army, but they knew the land. The British loyalists had an army, but it was too small to both attack and defend what it had won. And it was 2 months distance from supplies and orders. A deciding factor was the help that the French give to the patriots. In fact, the French fleet prevented the British Navy from aiding the patriots.
Sorry, I've got another question. What happened on the 3rd of July 1776?
On 4th July 1776, a Continental Congress in Philadelphia signed a Declaration of Independence written by Thomas Jefferson, a lawyer from Virginia. It was more than a statement that the colonies were a new nation. Since it claimed that all the men have a natural right to life, to freedom, and to the pursuit of happiness. It also states that all the governments have, if they want to have the power, have to have the approval of the other government, the consent of government.
I have another question. I'm Alessandra Giretti.
what did the Treaty of Versailles recognize?
With the Treaty of Versailles, Britain recognizes the independence of its former colonies, and the new Republic of America approved a federal constitution in 1787, and George Washington became the first president in 1789.
Hello everyone, we are the second group about the American Revolution. We are ready for your question.
Can I? I am Lucrezia Anastasi and I have a question. What do you know about the American Declaration of Independence?
The American Declaration of Independence of 4 July 1776 was a key moment of history, not only for the North American, but also for Britain and the English-speaking world. Of 9 July 1776, after the Colonial Assembly of New York, the inhabitants of New York City pulled down an ecclesial salt of George King III. The king's name was removed from government and all legal documents.
Other question?
Yes, what is the Boston Freedom Trail?
The Freedom Trail is a walkway in Boston that retrace the Revolution War that brought independence to the 13 colonies in the Great Britain. We can see that the trail starts with the Boston Common, that is the heart of the city and is the America's oldest park. Other steps of the trail are the Park Street Church, the old meeting house, the old State House, the Polar Revere House, and the old South Church. We can see also that the trail ends with the Bunker Hill Monument, that is a memorial for the men killed during the war.
One more question, please. I am Claudia Morelli. What was Boston Common used for?
Hi Claudia. The Boston Common during the Revolution was used for everything. It was used, for example, during the Revolution for the war enchantments and for the public hangings and civil rights meetings. It's the American oldest park and today is used for public meetings.
A question to the other woman. Who was Paul Revere?
Well, Paul Revere was one of the revolutionary leaders, and he is famous for his midnight ride in which he rode through the town surrounding Boston to warn about the impending British attack. He was also remembered because his house is a step of the Boston Freedom Trail, and it is situated between Old North Church and Old State House.
Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, we are going to talk about a different part of the revolution, not the historical part, but a modern part, about the movie that describe this revolution. There are two important movies, Patriot and Revolution. There are some questions?
Look at me, please. What about the accuracy of the film Revolution?
The film Revolution is a film of 1985 of Hudson and with the actor Tadino. The plot of this film is generally about a woman, the protagonist, called Tom, and when his son is obliged to join with the army, he decided to fight for the revolution to try to find him. And in the film we can see a lot of great battle scenes. The accuracy of the film are that the war is not described only like a war between Americans that try to defend the liberty and the British occupator, but also like a war, a civil war between British that socialize with the part of the winners. Another accuracy is that the film was filmed in the 4th July, but was a particular 4th July because it was cold, winter and rainy.
And what about the accuracy
accuracy of the film The Patriot?
The Patriot is a war film based on the real revolutionary war. It is in 1776 in South Carolina, and the protagonists of this film were Martin, a veteran, and his eldest son, Gabriel. Gabriel joined the Continental Army without permission of his father, and the British Army arrested Gabriel. He died in his father's arms. And one of the most important inaccuracy is that in this film, that is field worker on Marty's farm are free men rather than slaves. And this seems to suggest that the War of Independence was a liberating exercise for African Americans. Moreover, the film had been criticized for mispresenting atrocities during the Revolutionary War.
We are the journalists!